Monday Mornings with Matt and Kevin. These two will debate real-life issues from a Catholic perspective every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Make the world Catholic again.
Well, it's Monday, and guess who is here with you on this lovely, beautiful Monday morning? That would be Matt and Kevin. And do I sound like velvet? Do you just hear the sounds? All these beautiful sounds coming to your ears. Yeah, that's me with a nice microphone. So thanks to all of our supporters who have allowed me to get this after 2.5 years of using a garage microphone. It was used for a band that my wife had with her siblings and her dad for a couple months back when she was like pre-high school or high school times, so a long time ago, and did its job. I think I'm going to bury it. Maybe I'll put a little marker next to it. But I'm glad to have something new. It's pretty cool. Pretty excited, and I'm excited to have Matt on. We're going to talk a lot of politics. So yeah, half of you can just go away if you want. That's all right. But there's so much. It's like, how do you not talk politics this week? I mean, talk about just insanity, and it's not all going to be positive, guys. We're not just going to be patting Trump on the back, because there's actually a lot we did not like this week.
With this new microphone, right there.
I'm here.
With this new microphone, all I got to say is Delilah better watch out.
What better watch out?
Delilah. Do you not know who that is?
Delilah.
You don't know the famous radio night host Delilah?
Yeah, she's a lady who answers your questions or something, right?
Of course, yeah. And she introduces Celine Dion pillow talk, whatever they call that.
Oh man, this is you better watch out. Yeah,
I got to get you to say that was Celine Dion with My Heart Will Go On here on whatever the radio station is.
Well, that
it doesn't sound like you're ready to call a play.
That would be pretty funny.
Yes.
We should do like a classical or Palestrina section of music and be like the DJs for it.
We should.
If anyone wants us to do that, let us know. Matt and I. That's it. I like this idea, you guys. Let us know in the comment section. Matt and I will pick let's say 3 of our favorite songs. We'll do an extra show, and we'll look into it, and we'll pick some classics.
Do you have a favorite song? If I had to say, ask you what your favorite song was.
My favorite, they say Palestrina would be Sicut Cervus. I know it's the easy one, but I think that's the most brilliant polyphonic song ever written, I think.
I don't even know it.
You don't know Sicut Cervus? Wow.
I couldn't spell it.
SICUT. Next word, CERVUS.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay.
Beautiful. It's really one of the most famous
set to the Psalms, right?
Polyphonic music.
It's
a psalm that's it's actually part of the washing it's the blessing of the holy water on Holy Saturday. And the second part is CTV Anima Mea, which is also very nice, but not as nice as Sicut Cervus. There are others. Allegri's Miserere is gorgeous, really incredible. There's others. I love Vivaldi, actually. Vivaldi's Four Seasons I really like. But no, guys, let us know. That'd actually be pretty fun.
One of my favorites, last point I'll make here, one of my favorites is actually Mozart. He did the Mass in C minor. And I thought his Kyrie was hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from that to On Eagle's Wings.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. I was going to say, do you not know what that even is?
It sounds like a really cheesy Christian song.
Yes.
Did you know? Now here's a little bit of interesting trivia. Do you know? Okay, so you know the old spaghetti westerns like with Clint Eastwood. You know the
sure.
The very famous western song that was written by Ennio Morricone, and Ennio Morricone was actually asked by the Vatican, I think by JP2, to become the official, music writer of the Catholic Church. So he'd come in and write, official masses, I suppose, for the Catholic Church. And he said, no, why would I do that? They've already perfected it, 1,000 years ago or something like that. So pretty interesting and pretty props to a genius who understood genius. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it takes. It takes genius to understand genius sometimes. Right. And props to him. He recently passed away, I think, actually.
Reminds me of when they were talking about the canon of the Mass. Pope Pius IX, I don't know what the topic was, but he said, who am I to touch the canon of Mass? I'm only the Pope. Like it's kind of like, even I don't have the authority here. So yeah, you can't fix perfection.
That's
can't
it.
fix
That's
you
it.
can't fix genius.
So Matt,
So the RNC,
thinking
Kev,
of
yeah,
talking about fixing
yes,
things. I mean,
yes,
let's start with
yeah.
that because I wanted. We're going to talk about who's going to end up running for the Democrats because I think nobody. It's total chaos. But I would like to get your opinions, and I'll give some of mine about the RNC. That's the Republican National Convention that happened in Wisconsin over the week. Of course, Trump was there giving his first speech after being shot in the ear, almost assassinated. Yeah, I guess I'll ask you first, Matt. What did you think?
Well, I thought it's I have two sides of this, I guess you can say, because there is, and maybe you understand this, Kevin, there is a side of me that has that like that old conservative. I was a huge I was really into politics. I was considered myself, far right, and these sort of conventions absolutely pumped me up
Yeah,
when I had a lot of false beliefs, and I just love the whole idea of it. So I feel as I watched this convention play itself out the last few days, that some of that was still in me. That like, yeah, let's go, let's rile up the base, let's have all these great speeches. I thought so and so, and this person, that person were coming to save us. I have to say that if I look at it from that angle, who I will critique in just a few seconds, but I actually thought Vivek speech, just his speech, I thought he delivered a very remarkable job. I think
good.
he was probably the best that I saw. Now, of course, I didn't watch every single speaker throughout the week, but
Right.
I thought he was extremely energetic. I thought he delivered his message with passion. I thought he was sharp. I thought he articulated well. I thought he was on point. I see him here as a rising star in that party, in the Republican Party, because I think that the way he just presented himself, almost like I think it was Obama who gave a keynote address in 04 at the 04 DNC, and that address was so profound that it sort of rose him to stardom. I kind of see Vivek taking a similar path there. I think there was a lot that was boring, a lot that was kind of lifeless. And I thought he really did a great job, but he was very troubling too, because he tweeted this out, and here's the part where I truly feel like, I don't know how you and I would agree or disagree here, but can a Catholic truly go out to these conventions and support this party? Because Vivek tweeted, here's a reality check: the GOP platform does not oppose gay marriage, and we do not support a federal abortion ban. Stop misleading your followers, AOC, and admit the real reason why you're freaking out is because we're picking off your voters. I don't know, and there's a lot more to dissect from the RNC here, but that point alone, I can see, and I will be voting for Trump, and I will be doing so, I guess you can say, not neutrally, but negatively, to go out there to try to cast a vote for what is truly still the lesser evil here in my mind. But I don't know how any Catholic could enthusiastically support this party and support this platform that has really turned into 1990s Democrats.
Well, and yeah, it's a great point. And then when you say support, I mean, to me, that's not giving a vote; that's giving your money. So I think that's a very, very big difference. I will vote for Donald Trump because I do think objectively we can say if it's Biden, we can actually compare him to Biden, and he's better by a long shot
In so many ways. Yeah.
It's not even close. I just be quiet. I don't want to hear your arguments. I'm sorry. It's for sure he is the lesser of two evils, and I believe in voting for the lesser of two evils in this case. It's just my opinion. Now, I would definitely not give my money to him. And exactly as you said, Matt, and when I saw this weekend, and it made a lot of sense. So if you're just looking at the politics of it, you get it. You see, okay, first of all, the momentum on the Republican side is just unbelievable.
It is massive.
Massive.
Yes.
It is
probably not seen since Obama.
Oh, I totally agree. Totally. I mean, for the Republicans, not since Reagan, I think. I mean, it's huge. And I think they understood, okay, this isn't just even about Trump winning. Trump's just got to win. I think that's what they think. He's going to win. So they think, okay, now we need to reach out to pummel the Democrats and pummel them. We need to get the black vote. We need to get the lesbian vote.
The LGBT. Yes.
We need to get all of these, the Hindu vote. We need to, and the Jews. And so you look at the convention, and that's what you could tell, that they're just like, hey, let's just try to reach out to all the people from the different aisles. And we know we're going to win the base, and so let's just try to reach out. And so politically, it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I hate it.
But I think it's working. I hate it too, but I think it's working.
Oh,
I think it's working. I think they are picking off, Kev, a lot of demographics. I think they're pulling them in. Here's my opinion here. I truly believe the Democrat Party is an absolute shambles, and I believe that they are truly, I don't want to say fading away, But I think they're kind of falling. They're burning. This would be a perfect opportunity for the GOP to radicalize.
Yeah,
and they're going the other way.
Yep.
You're right. The momentum here is so powerful. I think Donald Trump could actually start to speak. The party as a whole could start to speak about abortion bans federally.
Yes.
I think they could actually, because up until this year, I don't know if you knew this, but the GOP platform, which I did pull up and find the section that I wanted to talk about, mentioned that we believe in traditional marriage as the union of one man and one woman. That was removed this year to just say marriage and whatever. They stripped it of that language on purpose. This would have been the perfect time for them to radicalize, go even further to the right, and push 100%. Their message that yes, this is what we stand for. And because I think they would have had a lot of those people anyway.
And Trump almost had his brains blown out. I mean, people have seen the video. I mean, if Trump didn't turn his head, he's dead. So
it's unbelievable.
It's incredible. And I truly believe you were going to see maybe not war, but it would have affected the world for decades. I really believe it. I don't care what you think about Trump. It just would. That is the politics right now. If Trump got his brains blown out on live television, things would have gone crazy. That's just the truth. And it didn't. My hope was, okay, Trump says, okay, wow, I'm human. I am mortal.
Mm-hmm.
I need to start realizing, and he mentioned God in his speech, and he said that by the grace of God, that was good. But I was really, really hoping that it was like, okay, this is his come to Jesus moment, and not saying that, to be, crass or something, but actually like really like, wow, okay, I almost died, and now I need to really, dedicate this to the eternal, I suppose. And I thought that was possible. And I think it's still vaguely possible. I don't think Trump had much to do with the RNC, to be honest. I think, honestly, Trump went to speak. He almost got killed. He's not organizing the RNC. So, but he obviously, I'm sure he's approving it in some cases, but I don't think he had that much to do with it. But anyway, my hope was he's going to, as you said, exactly radicalize. You turn this into a look. We're going to own this election, and we're going to pummel you. We're going to kick the Democrats to where they barely exist anymore, and we're going to take away these things like abortion and gay rights and all, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, sure, YouTube might ban us for saying that, but that was my hope. And exactly as you said, they did exactly the opposite. And honestly, it's not even talking about Trump's speech, which was way too long, and it was just boring. Like, I listened to the whole thing, and it's like he had a couple of good lines. It's like, dude, come out there. I mean, I don't understand how someone like Trump doesn't understand this. Come out there for 10 minutes, show you're alive, talk about how you almost died and how it's like, hey, look, I almost died, but I'm here and I'm going to fight. That's all he had to say. And you know what he did? He lost almost all the momentum because he couldn't shut his mouth. He couldn't just stop talking. He's like, dude, just stop. Just let it
the longest.
You have the momentum.
Yeah, it was the longest actually presidential speech in either party history. Yeah. And
Stupid.
I think
bad decision.
I think the Democrats would have taken this and run with it, because think about it. Your candidate was a prime target, was basically assassinated on live television, and they're going to pander to these people.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where the Trump that we saw 2015 prior should come out. He has tweets from 2012, 2013, 2014 of himself saying, when I get punched, I hit back 100 times harder. That's what he should have done. And he would rather give this unifying message of we can bring in all of these people from different demographics and different platforms.
And obviously, Trump shouldn't have said punch back, like literally start shooting people. Of course,
no.
It's not like, hey, let's cause civil war, but it's like, hey, okay, you know what? You tried to kill me, and now my political stances, my agendas are going to be this much more
right.
extreme.
Exactly. Yes, that's what should have happened, and it's not.
I agree.
And I think it would have been, again, the perfect opportunity here because of how unpopular the Democrats really are to seize this opportunity. And then the Republican convention, which, as you mentioned, I'm sure Trump is not sitting here behind closed doors with a notebook organizing this, but there was a so-called prayer by Harim K. I don't know if you saw this, Dilan, if that's the correct way to pronounce her name, where she prayed, I believe it was in Arabic, I'm not sure the language, to her Hindu god. And you see all the people there bow their heads and join her in prayer. Now, obviously, we know that, praying to a Hindu god is praying to
demonic,
whatever.
Yeah.
And they did that here. So again, I mean, in terms of, as you
That
said, voting for Trump, I will be doing so again to prevent Biden really from getting into office, and because I think some of Trump's policies can be good. But I think to donate or to enthusiastically be at these things, um, how much of these events, Kevin, how much of the statements made and the what was put on display is condemned by the
hmm,
church? I
yeah.
think interfaith. I mean, I don't know if
They
you would
had
consider this
Hasidic
an
Jews singing a
interfaith.
song. I saw that in a clip too.
Yes, yeah, they were doing that,
Man.
and they're trying to, and this is where the whole platform of religious liberty and the republic of religious freedom and all that, it can't work. It cannot. I mean, it could work in the sense that, yeah, I think Catholicism could thrive in the U.S. I think it can do well. I think with our freedoms and with what we're offered, it can do well. But it also has to tolerate these false religions. And for a party, and this is really what gets me too, for a party that claims to be so Christian centered and call for this America that was founded on God and on Christian values, where are our Christian laws? Can you name one? Is there a Christian law that is enacted in the U.S. today? Where are they?
I'm
I
in.
mean, for a country that says one nation under God, that not only do they use the term God, but they're referencing the triune God. Um, there's no law here that supports. And we see laws that protect the Jews. We see laws that protect everybody else, but we should be enforcing like a lot of other things that they claim to stand for and represent, and they're not, and they don't.
And I think again, we both agree that that doesn't mean we should hate our country. It definitely means that we shouldn't just stop voting. But I'm with you. It's sad times. It's depressing when you see that the politics, exactly as you said, is they should be just going to the extremes. And I think there are some people in the party who might possibly have some hope in that direction, but they're settling for a few wins, a few things like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
woohoo, we're gonna beat the Democrats in this,
And
and
once
they're gonna spend just as much, man. I mean, there's a lot of these things that are just not gonna be better. And again, I know I'm the one who's always beating the drum for voting, and I still believe in that, but man, the optimism for the Republican Party is very, very low right
Because
now.
once you open this can of worms up, you can't undo it. The Republican Party is allowing these positions to come into their platform and to allow to be
Yeah,
introduced to their
yeah.
voters. This is what it's going to be now, and you can't really differentiate between the Republicans today. It's the same message of the Democrats of the President Bill Clinton. If you hear
Sure.
this line, that if I were to replace the term GOP with Democrat, the Democrat Party does not oppose gay marriage, and we do not support a federal abortion ban. Uh, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I think they might gain voters, but I think in a lot of ways they will slowly start to lose their conservative base that turned for them for that. If I supported marriage being defined as the union of one man and one woman, and I opposed abortion throughout all of pregnancy, I had somewhat, and I'll use the term somewhat of a home in the Republican Party. The party at least shared in its platform my views. Now, if they cave into that, I mean, I'm not a registered Republican. I once was, and I had left. I don't know if you can even be in a party that supports these things. I'm not sure, and I think it might work itself out. And I think JD Vance, who I think should be critiqued and has some,
Hmm.
I think he has some weak positions on life and on marriage, but in a lot of ways, I think there's hope for him. You saw I don't know if you noticed, but he was making the sign of the cross constantly
He's a
throughout
novice
the
Catholic, yeah.
yeah, he is. He was making the sign of the cross throughout the a lot of prayers and convent speeches. I don't know what his future might be, but I do like the speech by the World War II veteran. I think he made a tremendous point that needs to be brought up because you hear it from Obama and Clinton that America is this idea, America is this abstract concept of this experiment and whatnot. And he said very clearly, America is not an idea, America is our home. And I
Mm.
think that needs to be echoed by this platform and by this party, because it is true. We are not an idea. We are not some abstract concept. This is a land. This is a people. This is our homeland, and we should fight for it. And I think if the GOP turns its attention there, I think you will see a lot more success, because there are a lot of people that feel that way, and
I'm with you. So so
and
so
we should run with it. Yeah,
here's the question: if Trump's going to win, I don't. I mean, so here's my two
I'm not as
scenarios.
confident. I
Here's my
want
two
to.
scenarios. It's like I think
Want
there's
to
two
believe it.
things: either they kill him, or he's in prison or something. I think that's, as we've seen, that's possible. And then they probably just let someone like Nikki Haley win. Yoo-hoo, yay for the Republican Party. And then, yeah, exactly. She goes to war with Iran on day one.
She can't
And
wait.
we're World War III, right? And I think that's what they want, and that's what they're all aiming for, the unit party, and she's a very big part of that. I think that's one option. And I think the other one is, I think they see, okay, they've tried every way. They tried to bring him to court. They tried to shoot him, or they, I'll be careful. He was almost shot. And it didn't work, and now he's got all the momentum, and they're like, hey, if I run against him, and they're thinking anybody, if you're I don't know, if you're Kamala Harris, sorry guys, I know I always say that wrong. If you're Kamala Harris and you wanted to run for presidency, now you're like, no way. You're going to get absolutely toasted, and you're going to ruin your entire political career. So I think everyone's like, no, but
here's why.
Hearing rumors, Biden not buying. Now it's Hillary. What is going on?
Here's why I tend to believe that Joe Biden will not get replaced. I think this assassination attempt on Trump has, aside from, potential cheating or whatever, has secured the election for Trump. And I think this has the potential. I just saw this morning, Donald Trump has opened up a near 10-point lead in Michigan. This was a state that Biden took that I think Trump might have beaten Hillary by like 2 votes. And I think the potential is there for, I don't want to say a Reagan map, because California, New York, it's not going to happen. But I think that Trump is on track for a 40 plus.
He could win New York, man.
Win. I think he can. That catapulted him to such momentum that if they replace Joe Biden with Kamala Harris, she is going to get shellacked. Is that a word? She's going to get shellacked. And it would be a terrible look for her to take over this party, to run and to be this, this savior of the Democrat Party, and to win 10 states out of 50. I think they're going to let Biden lose, let Trump, let this just play itself out, and then start fresh when it can't be Trump anymore. I think they might have considered it in the past, but I think this new wave of momentum, somebody even said, they were on the convention speech in 2016, you would not have dared walk around New York City with a MAGA hat on. If you did so, you were either psychotic or you were a Trump fan in New York City, but you couldn't really show it. It wasn't safe for you. She said, now, if you go to New York City today, people are walking the streets with that hat on. The tide has turned completely amongst a whole bunch of individuals, Mark Zuckerberg included, who really has spoken out in support of Trump.
Wild.
That 2016 narrative has ran off. They're trying to grasp on that he's a threat to democracy and all of these narratives that they used before and were kind of successful in. That narrative has faded away. It's not as successful as it was. And I think people saw that Trump governed fairly well. I think people see that he has actually a clear vision with goals in mind for the people and for the party. And Biden is just rambling into la la land by 8 p.m. The election, by all normal aspects of it, normal pulses of it, is a wash, and there's no need to put up a Kamala or a Gavin Newsom, because the Democrat Party is going to get destroyed. They're going to be slaughtered in November, and let Biden take the loss. Let Biden get embarrassed. Let him retire and go home, start fresh in 2028. Man, time flies. 2028.
Yeah.
Every 4 years we got to do this. Sometimes I think sitting there, I'm watching the RNC, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta vote harder this time.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Vote hard.
By that next
vote hard. But I don't know if I have ever seen, and it's hard to read the pulse, but I don't know if I've ever seen an election so certain. We're a long time. We're 5-6 months away.
Have you ever seen an athlete, a black athlete, saying they would vote for
all of them now?
There's a bunch of them.
It's like all of them coming out, because it's cool to support Trump.
Vote for him, but to say it publicly, it's like a bunch of them came out, and rappers came out in support of Trump. I mean, that's a really big deal. It's dumb. I agree, but it's true. It matters. Yeah. It matters what Taylor Swift thinks. If Taylor Swift says, "Hey, vote for Biden," that's actually a big deal. It is. I mean, again, it's stupid, but it's true. She has a lot of influence, and it's a big deal.
Somebody did some study. Somebody did a study, and I don't know how they figured this out, but they say Oprah in 2008 influenced 1.2 million votes for Obama.
Wow.
That netted him that amount of people. So there is that weight that people have. But I think, again, the narrative has changed where people don't care. Like, I think people saying, well, I got to listen to Taylor Swift and vote for who she tells me to. I don't know if that's as strong as a message as it was before. I
Agreed.
think, and I hate to say this because uh, I don't know how I feel overall, but I think, man, I'm going to bite my tongue with this one. I want to say in a lot of ways, Donald Trump saved the Republican Party. I think that
No way.
I think that they were really with Bush, McCain, Romney, they were fading into irrelevancy. And I remember somebody said George Bush was the last Republican president you'll see in your lifetime because he won. He won again in '04, and that's going to be it. Democrat policies are far more effective. They're far more popular. And there's been this new wave that has, I almost use the term resurrected. I could never use that energized the Republican Party in a lot of different ways, but they're going in the wrong direction. And man, I don't know if I was a delegate, right? If I was a delegate from my state and I was there to, cast my vote as an official delegation for Donald Trump, what would I do sitting there when they're offering these interfaith prayers and prayers to pagan gods and saying that we support gay marriage and we don't oppose abortion bans and all that? Am I supposed to stand up and clap?
Right.
I would have had to get up and walk out.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have sat there and have and taken this. They're going to have to do an exorcism on that place.
Yeah.
That's how bad
Right.
it.
And
That's
I
how
think
bad it's got.
it's something that we do need to, all of us. I mean, and I'm definitely, and not all of us, the black pillars, not, but I mean, I'm someone who definitely does get excited about these things. I get hopeful. I get hopeful that, economy is going to be better. We're going to have less wars. And I think that's a fair hope because that was actually true last time he was
It
president.
was true, correct.
So I think he will fix the economy in many ways because he's not a total lunatic moron who hates our country. So, I think that's true. And he proved that. Now, I think, again, it is sobering, though. We do need to sober up and say, yeah, um, let's remember this is the lesser of two evils. This is not like, oh, wow, what a hero, what a savior, what an incredible. No, it's not. I've never said that. I mean, I get optimistic and hopeful, but I've never thought that either. I'm not really a fan of Trump. I think he is a crass, extremely what's the narcissistic. I think he is narcissistic. He is a narcissist. I think that's probably factually true, but that does
But
not mean that his agenda can't be somewhat
if
okay.
narcissism is arguing on behalf of the United States with foreign affairs,
Yes.
I'll take narcissism.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I agree.
Tell them that we're bigger than you, we're better than
If a
you, and we're more
narcissist
effective.
loves his
I
country
think
as a leader and he's going against someone who actually hates everything good about a country, which is the case with Biden, it was a case with Angela Merkel. It's the case with a lot of leaders around the world who are fortunately being kicked out by
Yes.
slightly better populists, not everywhere, England not, but they've also moved in the right direction. People are starting to realize, okay, we can deal with a lot of different things that we still need to fix, of course, but the biggest thing is we can't have people lead us who hate us.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
If they hate us, they've got to go, man. And that's exactly what we've seen with Biden. We've seen it with Angela Merkel. We've seen it with Macron. We've seen it with Trudeau. And it just goes on and on and on with these people who hate their people. They hate their countries. They hate them. And that's not hyperbole, guys. They really hate them.
And how sad that
that's
is
who has to be
for
voted out.
how sad that is for Europe.
Oh.
I mean, America is a very different story from European countries, but you should have that sort of. And I was reading about it the other day about nationalism and how when used in a proper context and when applied in a proper way, it's a very good thing. Again, when applied properly, if you are French, you should be proud to be French, and you should want to live in a French culture, and you should.
It's a virtue.
Yes. And as the president, or hopefully king of your country, you should support your people, support your culture, and support the principles that make your nation great. But they've all caved to this European Union thing where they wish to mesh all these nations into one giant continent, and it's very sad because it's an absolute compromise. And those differences are beautiful.
It's not a compromise. They hate us. They hate us.
Do.
They want us gone. They really like the elites of Europe, especially, but around the world. Look at Trudeau, look at Biden. They want us like the middle class, the lower class, white people. And guys, anyone who watches this show knows I am the farthest from a white nationalist there is. I have no problem with blacks or Chinese or Mexicans. My two best friends are Mexicans, for goodness sake. That is not the issue. The issue is cultural. And if you're just going to allow this to happen, not allow it, want it to happen. Matt, the Western world fought against Islam for 1,000 years, for 1,500 years almost. They fought and they gave their lives over and over and over all along the entire European continent. And now all of a sudden you say, not just, hey, you can come in, it's come in and we will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
How stupid is our world?
I always think
what
of.
do you expect is going to happen? This is sorry, I'm on a rant.
No,
Matt.
Go ahead.
Everyone else can
with that microphone, Kev. With that microphone, you are
gonna
just
listen to me better now. Okay, I'm almost done. But seriously though, with a religion that is based on on putting women down, on murdering people who are against your faith, who believe in Sharia law, which is literally, I'm going to go into your country and I'm going to practice a different law than the country I live in, be it Christian or not. It's absolute insanity. It's absolute insanity. And it's the dumbest thing that's probably ever happened in the world. I mean, probably. And it's all under the guise of democracy. We voted in these people, so they must make good decisions for us. Actually not. Okay, rant over. Sorry, everybody.
Imagine telling Pope Saint Pius V as he prayed the rosary over the Battle of Lepanto, don't you just know about religious liberty?
Yeah.
If only he knew.
Can you just be a little more charitable, Pius? Please, Pius V. Can you just maybe just think of the poor 25-year-old Muslim man who's coming across the water who just wants a better life? Can't you just think of that guy? Come on. That's
Our Lady Help of Christians is racist.
Oh man, yeah. See, Matt, you got a topic that boils my blood.
It's a very poor, it's a very poor narrative. You think of, again, I've brought this up on Twitter and on here many times. You think of the days of King Louis IX, Queen Isabel of Spain, Queen Mary Tudor, one of my favorite monarchs of England, who they were. I read that Queen Mary Tudor of England, she woke up very early in the morning and she absolutely refused to hear anything from any of her inside what would you call them,
cabinet.
Her aides or whatever, or cabinet, until she heard mass. She would wake up and say, I'm going to mass. And then after she heard mass, she said, then I have the graces to deal with what needs to be brought to me as queen.
Wow.
She would pray. So she would then get briefed about her day and what was going on, what the needs were. Then she would pray her rosary. And then after she would take care of her morning affairs, she would hear mass again, saying that she needed the grace of mass in the afternoon to continue to carry her and to continue to. She had a deep devotion to the mass. And
she was the granddaughter of Isabella, right? Is that right? It was Isabella and then Catherine and then Catherine's daughter.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. I mean, what a time, and she had her faults, and there were aspects of her governing that weren't.
She's not a saint,
but she's not a saint. She's not canonized, but just like you think of those monarchs like Queen Mary here, who were so devoted to their faith and sought to implement the reason why she sought a spouse and the reason why she sought to have a child was to seal England as a Catholic nation, and to make England a Catholic nation forever. Her whole monarchy was geared at undoing the Reformation and making Catholicism the faith of England. And she even said that there's no salvation outside the church. This is a ruler who said that there's no salvation outside of Catholicism. Look at where we are today. And they're called conservatives. It's a shame. It's terrible.
Amen to that. Well, everyone, that should be a reminder that let's pray really hard, very, very seriously for our rulers, for our countries. Again, it's in the Litany of the Saints. It's in many different prayers to pray for our leaders, because they are the ones who shaped the world, who determined where we're going as countries. And what we want, of course, is a bunch of St. Paul moments. That's absolutely the case. It's not going to happen. Yes. I know that, but we can pray for it. That's absolutely what we should pray for. Let's pray for all around the world. Let's pray for every single head of state to have a St. Paul conversion and to turn to the faith, because, of course, we all know that is actually what we need. And we all know, of course, again, we all know politics in general is behind, it's even behind culture, it's behind society, but it's especially behind the faith and our own families, where that is where we truly win in society. We win in the world, and we win, hopefully, a crown in heaven. And that is, of course, the most important thing. But we hope that you don't mind us talking about politics, because it is what's being talked about around the table. And so that's what Matt and I try to do. If this is in the news, if it's what people are talking about, that's what we want to talk about. And well, we hope you guys appreciate it. We hope you like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. Let us know if you'd like me and Matt to we'll do a program where we're talking about Palestrina. And this is Siku Chervos, written in 1520. Palestrina, of course, a good friend of St. Philip Neri. So definitely a lot of things I can tell you about him. And maybe I'll have on a special guest, my brother, Father Philip, who knows a lot about Palestrina and St. Philip. That actually
what about, isn't Liza pretty good with music too?
Oh, Eliza
very
Keenan
good.
is
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah,
She's awesome.
Her shows
Awesome.
are great.
Matt, it's been fun as always. I will see you next week. Everybody else, we'll see you too. Unless, of course, during the week we have a baby, then Matt may be by himself.
Right.
But it's coming up soon, so you may be hearing a little bit less of me over the coming weeks. But I'll let you guys know. I'll keep everyone in tune. You can probably hear babies crying in the background. There's gonna be more of that coming in the coming days. Anyway, God bless you all. Matt, I'll see you.